What's up, everyone? Welcome to a Nosebleed Perspective. Gibby, we are there. We had some technical difficulties kicking this bad boy off, but we're here, excited, even though it might be a little bit of a downer this Thursday night. We have the Broncos going at the Jets in MetLife Stadium. Gibby, how are we doing today?
We're doing good, man. There's football on. So, it's 2020. We got to take it where we can get it, man. It's not everyone's favorite game tonight, obviously, but
No, not at all.
and but hey, rumor is Jets lose, Adam Gase gets fired, so maybe we could get a win tonight.
Absolutely, and we'll talk a little bit about that. There is playoff baseball at that going on right now, but even the worst game of the year is probably going to get a shit ton more views than in that baseball game for sure. So thanks for everyone, or if you join or pop in, and if you have anything to say, ask us questions. We'll kind of hit on them and go forward from that. But we'll kick this thing off. So yeah, Broncos, Jets. This game is not something that's going to be highly attractive for some people, but what I wanted to do is go from a different lens and think about the positives that are going into this game. So here's some positives I kind of thought of today. First off, here we are, 2020, pandemic, COVID-19. We have football. Let's just stop right there. If this game was, back in April, we would be dying to watch some football and watch this game. So let's count our blessings, I guess, and then let's just be happy we do have live football that means something in some way. So that's number one. Number two, Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, killers in the booth. I think they do a really good job on Thursday Night Football. Big Joe Buck guy, love him. Not as much as Chris Collinsworth because he's just, man, I just love Chris Collinsworth on Sunday Night Football. He's just an absolute legend. He's just insane. So that's one positive. I'm reaching for these, as you guys can tell. Number three, no fans, will have to witness their Jets play in person live, so they don't have to see what's about to happen once again for the fourth straight week, because it's been tough sledding. We'll talk about that. Are the Jets the worst team in NFL history? I don't know. Maybe they go out and beat the Little Giants. Who knows? So number four, our counterpart, Cheech, who's having some Wi-Fi issues, but he is going to be asleep during this game, so he doesn't have to see it.
That's a positive.
Big positive. And on that, Adam Gase, like you said, it is rumored that he will potentially lose his job if this game goes down the toilet bowl as it is. So that's another positive. And a couple more. Just talking about Adam Gase, let's talk about Vic Fangio as well, though, because I am not a big fan of this guy. We saw what he did. If you watch football, opening night of Monday Night Football, he blew that game with his time management. It was horrible to watch. So that's a plus too. So this is going to be like an all-time gladiator match. Whoever loses this game, they are on the hot seat or fired, like to the death. This is pretty much, killer on killer here. And it's going to be fun to watch because it's not great football we're going to see, but it's going to be ugly football, which can be fun to watch. So you guys make sure you tune in for that. And lastly, definitely not least, a man, Brett Rippon out of Boise State, gets his opportunity in the NFL for the first time, his first career start, to actually win a football game. Sorry. And I mean, you can't have anything lined up easier than what he's going to go against tonight. He's not going to have that home field advantage that you might normally have in New York, which is a plus. And he's definitely going to have an opportunity to get a win, his first ever win, 1-0, undefeated starter quarterback in the NFL. So just a couple things. You might be asking yourself, who is Brett Rippon? And I'm glad you asked because I have a couple details. I kind of did my homework today. So Mr. Rippon played his college football, like I said, at Boise State, Bluefield, reigning 2007 Fiesta Bowl champions. Ever heard of them? Yeah. Beat AP in the Oklahoma boys. Don't know if you guys remember that. Adrian Peterson. It's a great game. One of the all-time best games I've ever seen in my life. So also Mr. Rippon was a Washington State, not the college, Washington State High School Player of the Year, 2014, fun fact. As a freshman at Boise State, though, he was named All Big West. As a freshman, came off the bench and replaced Ryan Finley. You may have heard that name before because he played.
Yeah.
He benched Andy Dalton on his birthday. So, so he took over that job. And what did he do? All he did was become the all-time Mountain West passing yards leader. I mean, do I need to keep going? Because I will. Next, Mr. Rippon's dad, his father, Mark Rippon, was an NFL quarterback as well. But better yet, his mother was a starting quarterback in the LFL, lately known as the Lingerie Football League. But then they changed it to the Legends Football League or something like that. So quarterbacking is in his blood. If his mom can make a professional football team,
yep,
this dude's in good hands. I'm excited to watch this guy play, and I think he might throw for 500 yards tonight.
I agree. Did you ever play Madden back in the day where you had to try to randomize who your parents were? Rippon hit the jackpot on his two parents. So back in the day, you used to have to like your mom used to be a track star and your dad would be a power lifter. You'd be like, oh, I want that kid.
Yeah.
So Rippon.
Creative player on Madden.
Yeah.
This is going to be exciting. I mean, what more do you want this guy to do? He was supposed to go like pretty high in the draft. Not high, sorry. Take that back. He was supposed to be drafted, I should say.
Okay.
But he ended up not. I think that his arm strength was an issue. And like I said, I'm with you all. I know you folks have never heard of this guy before. I really haven't heard of him, so I did a lot of research today. Also, that wasn't enough. Brett Rippon was compared in 6 different categories with 6 different quarterbacks. And I want you guys to let me know if you've ever heard this name. Kyler Murray, Drew Lock, his team, his starting quarterback on that team. Dwayne Haskins of the Red Potatoes, not good at football. Mr. Danny Dimes himself, Will Greer, and his former teammate Ryan Finley. Out of those guys, he was ranked first in processing the field, second in pocket movement,
okay,
6th in decision making. All right, we can see some improvement there. 3rd under pressure, 3rd in the deep ball, and 4th in arm strength. You average those together. I didn't do that, but I'm talking 3.2 or something.
Yeah.
See you later, Dwayne Haskins. So,
yep.
I'm just saying something to pay attention to tonight. He could go out and be a dud, get sacked 18 times, throw 6 interceptions, but I just had to hype it up as much as I could because it's a dry game tonight.
Yeah.
Gibby, what are your initial thoughts of just going into Thursday night football?
I mean, at the beginning of the year, if the Broncos were healthy, I think this is a completely different game, but we have no idea what to expect from the Broncos. I mean, their actual backup running back who's really like their runner, like down the throat runner, isn't there. Melvin Gordon's more their pass catcher. They're not going to have a pass rush. Everyone's so banged up. I think this has implications for the NFL for the future, like you said, with coaches being fired. But other than that, I'm just going to try to just enjoy it. Just enjoy the game.
And maybe the loser is in the running for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So this is the Trevor Bowl, pretty much, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think both of these teams feel like they have their franchise quarterback in Sam Darnold and Drew Lock. They feel like that.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen enough of Drew Lock. I know you're not a big Drew Lock guy. I don't think we've seen a big enough sample size to say that he's just not the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Darnold, I like Sam Darnold. I've been kind of high on him, but it's just hard to gauge with that offense and that Adam Gase-led football team and to see what he's capable of. I mean, we're going to see some bad O-lines tonight. We're going to see some sloppy football, and I think a lot of turnovers probably. Maybe not, though. You never know what we're going to really get. Because the Jets can come out and win this game by 30. Because sometimes the Jets – I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes the Jets, come out and do that. So
yeah. Yeah, excited. We're about an hour away from kickoff, about 45 minutes from kickoff. So,
yeah. So we'll circle back on just a couple gambling things and, maybe if there's some fantasy, So we got Joe Cardenas, go Broncos. I appreciate that. Hey, Austin Franklin, what's up, Frank? This is going to be the most. He says it's going to be the most painful game to watch. So let's put that up there. Boom. Yep. Hey, you're right, Frank. I'm with you. I'm trying to make the most of it though, because it's here we are. I'm just happy we have football on. But we'll circle back at the end of this show and talk about the rest of this game. But anyway, we're going to do a little bit of a recap, just what happened in week 3. I know it's already Thursday, but we just wanted to give a few of our thoughts. So Green Bay and New Orleans went up in Sunday Night Football. It's a pretty interesting game. So, Gibby, I was just wondering what your thoughts were. Are the Saints just dead, noodle arm breeze, or are the Packers that damn good?
So I think it could be a combination of both. I mean, I think the Packers are good, until we see them have to play the 49ers in the playoffs, but we'll get there later. The Saints, to me, it's just a question of, I think Drew Brees is more of a problem than he is an asset for this team. Is he smart? Does he make the right check down? But there's not one quarterback in the league who can't hand the ball off to Alvin Kamara 3 yards down the field. So until Michael Thomas gets back, I don't see this as a top team. Their defense, their secondary is the most confusing secondary in the league to me. Sometimes they look like a top 3 secondary in the league, and sometimes they look like the worst secondary in the league with penalties, offsides, holding calls. So they've got to figure that out before this gets ugly.
Yeah, I mean, I think Michael Thomas was limited at practice today. I'm unsure if he's playing. It'll probably be a last-minute decision, I'm sure.
Right.
But yeah, you said it, that secondary. They got some players back there. Marshawn Lattimore, Marcus Williams, really famous for, he was the GIF, the meme they made after the Minnesota Miracle. Yeah. So poor guy, because he's a good safety. That's just it's bad look for him. So
very bad.
But I'm with you. I've been saying this since the day we started this little podcast. I'm not a big fan of Drew Brees. I think he's been great, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl MVP, blah blah blah. But he is not going to be good going forward at this time. I don't care if Michael Thomas comes back. Teams know that he's not going to throw the ball downfield. I just think they're kind of done. They're going to win games. They're probably going to go wild card spot if Michael Thomas can come back, but that's just me being dramatic. All right, so next topic, sticking with the NFC South. What are your thoughts on Mr. Tom Brady? Do you think Tampa Bay can make a deep playoff run if they keep getting it together week after week? I know after week 1, what we're saying about the Saints, everybody was saying about the Bucs. They're dead. Tom sucks. He's old. Gronk's trash. All that. So what do you think is in the future, or what do you think's held for this team?
I mean, I think it's still tough to tell. I still think it's early to tell, and somehow I think the Saints still pull this division off because, I mean, we saw who they played last week, so not a very good football team. But the thing that, if you are a Bucs fan or a Tom Brady fan, that you can look forward to is that Bruce Arians really kind of pushed his offense and his agenda away in this last week. And he let Tom Brady do what Tom Brady normally does, little check downs, quick passes, get the ball out, dump it off to your running back, stuff like that. So as a Bucs fan, you got to be happy about that if it continues. They try to keep pushing the ball downfield and stuff like that. For them, it's going to be tough. So.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see when Chris Godwin comes back too, how he kind of fits in with that. I know he was saying he wanted to get the ball to Mike Evans a lot more. What do you have, 2 1-yard touchdown passes last week?
Yep.
So
Perfect.
Yeah, hey. So it'd be cool to see. I'm very interested in this team. Everyone who pays attention to this show at least knows I picked the Bucs to go pretty far. But I like where we're at right now. So I do. A lot of people didn't have them winning, 10 games, 9 games. So we'll watch them going forward. All right. So NFC, let's move to the NFC East. That miserable division has 2 wins in 3 weeks, and one of those belongs to the Washington Red Potatoes. And the other one is because Atlanta Falcons just imploded on themselves. So I don't even really want to count those wins, but they are wins. So how do you feel about your NFC East prediction with the Eagles going forward? I know we also have a bet on that.
Yep.
Eagles make the playoffs. I owe you cash. Eagles do not make the playoffs. You owe me cash. I'm feeling pretty good right now. How are you feeling?
So fortunately for me that they're in the NFC East and they're only half a game back with that tie. But they don't look good at all. No, the Cowboys, like their secondary is really bad. But when this division plays each other, you talked about two of them wins. Well, one of them wins had to happen. So outside the division, they only have one win, and it had to be an onside kick, a drive, a long field goal. This division is very, very, very bad at football. And I mean, of all the divisions, this is the one that you just never know. Eagles could win it at 7, 8-1. So,
oh boy,
you just never know.
I hope not. That would be miserable to see, and I would hate to pay you money for a 7-win playoff team. But you're right. I mean, one of these teams have to win by default, so I'm hoping it's the Cowboys. And maybe old Mr. Alex Smith comes in, win some games for potatoes.
Be a great story.
Hey, that would be – because Dwayne Haskins, he has definitely made us look good. We have trashed him from the beginning, and he looks horrible. Yes, he did win that game, but last week and the week before –
He didn't win that game.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, but he looks horrible. So I think and even Ron Rivera came out and said, this isn't my guy. I didn't draft him.
Right.
So, get the hell out of town.
Yeah, he's a very straightforward guy.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Let's see what we got next. All right. Cheech isn't here, but are the Jets the worst team in NFL history? Are they the worst team to ever put on a uniform and step up on the gridiron? If not, maybe the Giants are, because the Giants got the hell beat out of them by the 49ers playing their fourth string practice squad players. Was it 36-9 or 39-6? I mean, this is still sticking with the NFC East a little bit, but just what are your thoughts on these teams?
So the New York Giants were so bad that some San Francisco fans, not good ones, were asking, should Nick Mullins be our future starter? That's how bad the Giants were. Like, that was a topic of conversation, that you were so bad that Nick Mullins was considered he could be a starter. As far as the worst team ever, I would put the Jets as the worst team of all time with potential. Them Lions teams, we just knew going in. But, you see some of these players on the Jets and you're just like, man, like these guys could be good. But it's just maybe the worst coach of all time.
Yeah, I think we can agree on that. You've mentioned it, him riding the coattails of Peyton Manning.
Yeah. He's got him paid for a long time, and eventually you just got to realize that it wasn't him.
Yeah. So, the Jets are bad. They're bad. The two New York teams that share that stadium are just – I feel bad. Like, what do you do if you're a fan at that point of these two teams? Like, do you just
you got to ride it out.
You write it out, of course, but, man, because I don't know if the Jets draft Trevor Lawrence. I don't know how you think that
I think the new regime would come in and they would want to restart everything.
Poor Sam.
Yeah. Maybe he'll go somewhere else and get back up.
Cowboys.
Yeah, good.
Heard it here first. Samuel Darnold will be the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys next year.
Yeah, he's cheap. He's good.
Yep. Get him for a small price.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we can go to the NFC West. Are you worried about the Seattle Seahawks defense? I know they're 3-0, but they have given up a rather large amount of yards every single game. I think it's like 400, average of like 400 and something. I don't know. But they're not playing defense. And this is something that I kind of talked about when they signed Jamal Adams, that I was a little weary about it because they gave up pieces, they lost pieces, and your boy Jadeveon Clowney's gone. A lot of that they just look like at some point something's going to give, and maybe Russell Wilson won't just take them and lead them to a win. He might throw for 6 touchdowns every fucking game and win. I don't know, because right now he's on a heater.
Yep. Yeah, you have to be worried about that secondary. Defense as a whole, I think their D-line's good enough. I think their linebacker core is good enough. But that secondary, especially in this league, is going to be tough. I think they match up well with San Fran. I think it'd be tough. It's going to be tough for them against Arizona And the Rams, though, like with them weapons on the outside, if they can't, they're not going to win every shootout. No team in the NFL can win every shootout. You got to have a defense show up sometimes. If teams know they can't run the ball, then that's fine. They'll just line it up 5 wide, and they're going to beat you somewhere. I do believe in Pete Carroll, though, like turning it around eventually. If he can get that team to play good enough, maybe play a cover 3, a basic defense, and just be good enough to slow teams down, not stop them, they're going to be tough to beat. But there is concern for a reality check at 3-0.
Yeah, those strong D lines are going to be an issue for them. I think they're 28th or something like that in sacks allowed or something. And the Rams have always given them problems in that area. Aaron Donald's just a men against boys. So, and then I guess it kind of helps. The 49ers are all gone now, like Bosa and what's the other dude, Eric Armstead? They're just kind of dead right now. So, I think that they definitely hit some speed bumps along the way, but I don't see them not making this team is too good. Russell Wilson he's too good. We both bashed him in the past, but here we are. The dude's he's gonna win the MVP. He's just that good.
You heard it here first. You heard it at the Nosebleeds first. We told you. Told you Wilson was going to win it.
Don't know how much of a hot take that was, but yeah, you're right. All right. So next, I was wondering if all right. So 3 things that you might have learned from week 3. If you want to start us off, just give me your 3. We'll talk about it. I'll give you my 3. But yeah, what are the 3 biggest things that you kind of took away from week 3?
Well, I think I should make a shirt because I think I've said it 100 times on this show, but you should never, ever, 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 ever pay a running back ever because you can find a replacement and you'd rather have a good O-line than pay a running back. We saw it with Carolina. We saw it with San Francisco. Just every team in the league. You're going to see it. They're replaceable. Running backs are replaceable. It's unfortunate, but they are. And then Arizona Cardinals get smacked in the mouth, so they get a good reality check. I know a lot of people riding them high.
By the Lions.
By the Lions, yeah. So that's even worse. Yeah. So whenever your defense is good, plays good, but isn't good, sometimes you're going to have that whenever you turn over the ball as many times as they did. The defense, that dam is going to break through. It's not going to be able to hold up all of them turnovers. So it was a close game, but, good reality check for the Cardinals. And then we kind of already talked about Drew Brees just can't throw the ball downfield. Alvin Kamara is not going to be able to break 20 tackles a game for 16 weeks.
I don't know. Did you see him Sunday night?
He was bouncing. He looked like a damn ping pong ball, just bouncing off and forth.
Bouncing on the yoga ball.
Yep.
Dude's pretty good at football.
He's very good at football.
Hindsight. You probably take him number 1 right now,
For sure.
Yeah. So, all right. So, are those all your 3?
That's my 3.
All right. So, my 3, Mr. Joseph Burrow is an elite athlete, talent, quarterback in the NFL. And I think that he could be great in a lot of places. If this guy plays for the Cowboys, the Colts, the Titans, I think we're talking about him being like a superstar quarterback in the making, a Hall of Famer down the road because he's that damn good. He's playing on a team that maybe has the worst offensive line in football. He got rocked last week. I forgot who hit him, but his head came apart from his body, and he sat out one play. Dude came back in. He went back in, and he led him to a game-tying drive, not a game-winning drive, but a game-tying drive. So, and he's been in these games. I think all the games so far, he's kind of been in. The Browns game had to kind of come back, but they were close-ish. I think at this point, the Browns and Bengals are pretty evenly matched, honestly, and that's saying a lot for the Bengals, a lot. But that's just my take on that. But yeah, protect him because he's going to die out there. He's gonna Andrew Luck 2.0 if they don't get somebody to help him out because anytime he gets the ball, he has about 0.7 seconds to just make a play before he gets stated. So that's one thing. I really like Joe Burrow. Pay attention to him and watched him play football this year because he's really fun to watch. And he's a big dude back there, man. I didn't realize how huge he was. Even with you, I didn't realize how big he was. But he's pretty big back there. Good build. He can move enough in today's NFL. All right, number 2 for me, the Patriots are here to stay. Cam Newton and the boys, Bill Belichick are playing good football, and they look damn good. I had them winning, I think, 9 or 10 games and getting a playoff spot. But I'm fully behind that at this point because they look good. It's just been a really good match for both of those guys. So I don't know. What do you think about the Patriots right now?
Yeah, I mean, they're good. They got a matchup with the old Chiefs. So, we're going to see how that goes. But, they got the best secondary in the league probably, and they're going to keep getting better every week. Belichick and Cam haven't been together that long, and, they're going to keep – I just think this team only goes up.
A lot of people were worried about their defense, too, after they lost all those players, Byron Jones, Kyle Van Noy, whoever else. But they still find a way to get turnovers and get the ball, and they get to play the Jets twice a year, and the Dolphins. So look for them to be a match. What's up? All right, Frankham says Pats will beat the Chiefs. You heard it here first.
All right. I'll take that, man.
All right, Frank, thanks. That's a hot take. Because
that's a hot take.
Chiefs look really good right now. They did go to overtime with the Chargers.
Cam will have 2 rushing touchdowns. That's what Lamar thought too.
Oh, that is true. Lamar shut down 97 passing yards. Tough look for my guy.
It's a rough game for him.
Yeah. So, all right. So that was my number 2. Number 3 thing that I have learned from week 3: face shield Andy Reid may be the most talented play caller in NFL history. I mean, Giddy, you've probably been watching this more closely. Chiefs fans have been watching this more closely in the past few years. But dude, it's just being able to watch them, the underhand shovel pass to the fullback with the oh man, like I don't know. He runs a screenplay where Tyreek goes in motion.
Yep.
It's a fake screen to the receiver or to the running back.
Fake to Tyreek.
And then he chucks it straight right down the middle, right to Travis Kelce.
Yep.
And you mentioned another team. Do you know what team it was? I don't know. They tried it, and it did not work out for them.
Yeah, there was another team. I don't remember who it was, but there was some team that tried to run that same play, the fake. And if you don't have the threat of Tyreek Hill, no one's going to go with it, so it doesn't go along that way. Much love, Dion. Much love, buddy.
Yeah, Dion says fornicate the Chiefs and Mahomes. He's not a big fan because he's the Raven fans. Thanks for stopping in and watching, Dion. Sorry, Lamar did not look good. Last was a bad look for my guy. Yeah. So, I don't know who's going to stop that Chiefs team, to be honest with you.
If they play defense like they did Monday night, it's going to be tough. They keep getting banged up in the secondary, but Spags, their defensive coordinator, runs the craziest blitzes in the NFL. So, as long as they can get to the quarterback, they're going to be fine. Another thing you have to do is you cannot blitz Mahomes. Do not try to blitz him because someone's going to get open before you can get to Mahomes. This guy can drop back 20 yards out of the pocket like a Madden player and throw the ball 30 yards downfield. I know it's a lose-lose, but I think the best way to do it is like how the Patriots have done it in the past, and that's try to man up and play coverage behind. Double Kelce, double Tyreek, and hope no one else beats you.
Mahomes looks like the most unathletic human in the pocket ever, too. He just finds a way. It's like so frustrating when you go against them, too, because you can see like the D-line is right there, the blitz, whoever they have coming at the quarterback, right there, and he just finds a way to like slowly kind of.
He's like that guy whenever you go to like play a pickup game of basketball and you see the guy with the big old beer belly, the dad bod, and he's got some torn up shoes and he just schools you. Like that's what Mahomes reminds me of.
Gets every tip back in 21 every time. Yeah. All right. So moving on. So Chicago Bears 3-0. They named Big Dick Nick their starting quarterback. What do you think about – I know – so you like Chicago Bears. You picked them to win the NFC North, which I did not. What are your thoughts on the Bears? Do you think big Richard Foles makes them better? Do you think that, they kind of stay steady and that defense keeps winning them games? What are your thoughts on them?
So I think it's still going to be the same thing. I think, just because you have old Richard back there, you can't be just slinging the rock. You got to manage the time. If the Bears win games, it's going to be a shortened clock. They're going to have to run the ball. Montgomery's going to have to get going more. I know they're handing the ball off to him a lot, but, he's going to have to get more yards per carry. They're just going to have to not turn over the ball. I think that's the big thing for Foles. He cannot turn over the football. I think they're not a undefeated team. They're a 9-7, maybe 10-6 football team at best. So they just got to keep trying to find ways to win games. So,
what's up, Corey? If you want to come on, let me know. I'll shoot you this link. Yeah. So you still think they win that division though?
Yeah, I still think they do. Like we talk about the Packers and Bears. That's one of the biggest rivalries in sports, and I think they can match. What the offense brings. I think the Bears defense can match the Packers offense, and I don't think that the Packers can stop the run. Still, I'm still not a believer in their run defense, and I think the Bears and Nagy can whip up a game plan good enough to win a game by 3 points against them a couple times.
Shit, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers might be Mr. Unlimited 2.0 because he is killing it this year. I don't know if they can because that defense is very opportunistic. They create turnovers, but you're right. They give up a lot of yards at times, big plays. Jair Alexander is a beast on the corner, though. He's really flourished in somebody who I didn't expect he could. But yeah, so it'd be interesting to see the Bears. My thoughts on them are I'm not sold on them. To me, they're the pretenders of the NFC. I just can't do it. And I think just everyone maybe needs to take a step back on Nick Foles. Yes, he has won a Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl MVP, but it's a dude who's not been consistent as you think. And I can tell you as a Rams fan, came into the building and just sucked it up. Like granted, we were a bad football team, but I'm not sold on him. He did have a good year. I don't think he can be as efficient up there in Chicago as he was like that year. What he threw like 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, or it was something crazy.
Yeah, that's good.
Just stupid. Like that was an anomaly. But then he did win a Super Bowl, so maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, we'll see about them. All right, so how many leads do the Falcons have to blow before they make a change? I mean, we've seen it the past couple of weeks. It's been some crazy stuff, man. The onside kick, and then last week again, just dick in the dog. So what are your thoughts on them?
I mean, they should have already moved on. Like, I know it's not the same regime that blew the Super Bowl, but you've got to move. You have to move on from this. You can't have this and say that it's acceptable. It's like a quarterback like Mitch Trubisky who keeps turning the ball over and keeps not winning games. Why is it acceptable for a coaching staff to keep blowing these leads like this? Like, they have so much talent. We talk about other teams having talent, not living up to them. The Falcons have all the talent. Their number 2 wide receiver would be a number 1 wide receiver on 85% of the league. The guy he's almost unguardable if you can line him up right. And it's frustrating to see with all that talent they have.
Yeah, you got to steal if you got Calvin Ridley this year. So, all right. Well, okay. So, yeah, I mean, my thoughts on that real quick. Yeah, Dan Quinn definitely on the hot seat along with Vic Fangio, Adam Gase. Maybe not as high up as Adam Gase in particular, but – I mean, he's just been nothing since Kyle Shanahan left. I mean, they have not been worth a single damn since then. Hold on. Yeah, so I think he's gone. If he makes it through the season, great. But I think he's definitely gone by the end of the year for sure.
Yep.
All right. So we can move up to the AFC East. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Do you think Josh Allen is a franchise guy and he's going to just lead this team to the depths of hell to finally take over that AFC East over Bill Belichick and the boys over in New England? Or is he just a crazy maniac with a big arm and make some dumb decisions. So, yeah, what do you think?
I mean, I think he's both. I think he is, after this year, I think he could be the franchise guy, but I think, will always be that crazy maniac. I mean, the guy just threw a lateral out of bounds just this last week, but he also did fight some, adversity and did have a game-winning drive. And there's not a lot of NFL quarterbacks that can do that. So he's got a big arm. You just got to tame the beast. You've got to tame the man. You got to tell him just to go up there. I mean, he was screaming and yelling at refs. He was upset. He's an emotional guy. You've just got to tame him and, let him. He's got Diggs now. Brown's good. They've got a good little backfield. So, and their defense is good. We know how good them linebackers can play. So, you just got to tell him he doesn't have to win every game. He just has to not lose them.
Yeah, I mean, they look flawless that first half against the Rams too. I mean, it's like I'm trying to be unbiased. I mean, they're not. We're not the best team in the NFL, but we have some solid players. We have a solid D line, and definitely some playmakers in the secondary. And he looked pretty good, man. And then they finally kind of caught on a little bit. He did make a couple mistakes. There was one call that may or may not have been. I'm not going to talk about that. John Johnson got an interception, which would look like a 50-50 ball, pretty much, and that kind of turned the tide. So, as long as they can stay consistent, I definitely think they can win this division. I know I'm big on the Pats too, but there is an extra wild card spot, which is going to help them out. But yeah, man, the Bills look good. They got a great defense. If he can just be smart with the ball, no lateral in the ball in the playoffs in the fourth quarter, just on some dumb shit, can't do that. So we'll see how he continues to progress. All right, but I'm proud of Josh Allen, man. I didn't expect shit from him coming out of Wyoming. So, all right. So finally, we'll kind of circle back to tonight's game. We got the Broncos, we got the Jets, two of the worst teams in football. Like you said, the Broncos definitely have faced some adversity with injuries. They probably easily win this game if the Jets are in the same place, and then if so facto, Bills, the Broncos. So. Just what do you expect to see tonight? I know we kind of hit on it, but like, what are your overall thoughts? What do you want to see? What do you expect to see? Who do you think wins? Whatever you want to talk about this game.
Yeah, I think, the main thing is just to see who stays a Jet and who stays a Bronco. If you're a fan of these two teams, like, figure out who plays well tonight and because this is your best opportunity to play well. It's your best chance to show this coaching staff that you belong next year and you're building for the future. I like you said, a big Jets quarterbacks guy here in Donald, but can his O-line protect long enough? Can Gase come up with some good enough plays to not be predictable? And we'll see.
I don't think so. I don't think he
can. And deep down inside, like, I want the Jets to lose, and I would hate to ask for anyone's job, but as a friend of Cheech, I hope they get blown out. I hope Gase is gone. And I hope they bring in someone else that can use these star players that they have to get better.
I hope he wakes up and Brett Rippon has thrown for 750 yards, 17 touchdowns, and Adam Gase is getting the hell out of town by the time he wakes up.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, same. It's just going to be. I'm excited to watch it. Keep an eye. So the Jets have a lot of dark spots. They have a lot of negative things going on. But my dude from the University of Louisville, Mekhi Becton, has been on. He's been on a heater. Watch him. Watch his highlights. The dude is an absolute force over at left tackle. So look for him. Number 77. He's a huge human. You won't miss him. Yep. If there is anything you can find positive from the New York Jets, it'll probably be. Oh, hold on. We got it.
Hey.
All right. So what's up, Corey?
What's
Thanks
up,
for
dude?
joining our show, man. Hey, I appreciate it, man. You're our first guest on our live show ever. So.
Yeah, no worries, man. Sorry, I'm in a hotel right now. So.
Oh shit, where you at?
All right.
I'm down here at Goldsboro doing my reserve weekend thing.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, that's right. You told me that. Yeah, I got to go into work this weekend, shave this beautiful beard off. But yeah, well, thanks for coming on. Since you're on, if you want to talk about anything Panther related, you guys are sitting at 1-2. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
should be 2-1, but
Always, yeah, should have, could have, would have, always, huh? All right. So, what are your overall thoughts so far of Teddy Bridgewater and the Panthers? How are you feeling going into the next few games?
I think Teddy looks good, man. I mean, so I think Teddy's more of a game manager rather than when Cam is healthy. I think Cam's going to win you more games. If it's in a 2-minute drill and we're down by 3, we got to score a field goal or kick a field goal or score a touchdown, I think I'm going with Cam over Teddy. So I definitely miss Cam, but I think Teddy looks good. He fits Joe Brady's offense perfect, I think.
Nice.
So I think that's one reason we got kind of rid of Greg Olson. I know he's a little bit older, but Joe Brady's offense doesn't use tight ends much, and that's why we're so deep at wide receiver. I mean, we signed Keith Kirkwood. We got DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel.
Hey, Robbie Anderson looks
Ballin'.
damn good on another. Okay, so another Adam Gase example, or a dude who left a team from an Adam Gase coach team and looks excellent going forward. I mean, you talk about Devontae Parker, a receiver under Adam Gase, and he's flourished since he's left. And it's interesting you bring up Robbie Anderson because they do have a good receiving core too. I think DJ Moore. Yeah, Gibby up here. He loves DJ Moore. I kind of got him. Yeah, I got him in a fantasy draft in spite of Gibby picking him up right after me. But hopefully he picks it up. But I know what you mean with Teddy. He's always been that type of game manager. But let me ask you this. I know you're kind of put on the spot. Christian McCaffrey, he didn't play this week. They had Mike Davis and Reggie Bonifant kind of fill in. By the way, Teddy Bridgewater, Reggie Bonifant, University of Louisville guys. Yeah. What are your feelings now? I mean, about like these high paid running backs? I think we talked to you right after. Was it right after he got paid or something like that?
Yeah. I don't like paying running backs that much because their prime is a lot. It's a shorter year span than quarterbacks or even receivers because I mean they get hit more than probably anybody besides tackles and
Yeah,
but,
for sure. Take a beating.
But obviously being a Panthers fan, I'm a little biased. I think Christian McCaffrey is the best all-around running back in the entire league.
That's fair.
And this is his 4th year, and this is the first time he's got hurt.
Yeah. And
it's just a sprain. He knows how to keep his body healthy. So, I mean, I'm not worried about it. I mean, he's probably going to miss probably 1 or 2 more games. They said 4 to 6 weeks, so I don't think he'll be out that much longer. But Mike Davis looked great last week filling in against the Chargers defensive line.
Pretty good D-line.
So do you think any part of Teddy, so they won last week. Do you think any part of that is Teddy Bridgewater feeling like he didn't have to feed? I know he doesn't really call the plays, but he definitely has the power to change the play. To not feed Christian McCaffrey as much, he got to go out there and kind of do his thing because I do think he's a little bit better than just a simple game manager. He's not a Mitch Trubisky, okay? He can find an open guy a lot better. So
Trubisky's
it's real. Nick Foles, yeah. So, yeah, I was just wondering do you think that played into anything? Like Teddy got to be a little free. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater has thrown for a lot of passing yards this year too. I don't know if that's
I agree that he's a little bit more of a game manager. I think it shows Joe Brady and Matt Rule that you don't have to rely so much on Christian.
Yeah.
Because I think it's almost a blessing in disguise.
Hey, hot take. I like that. I mean, so going forward, Christian McCaffrey will not be utilized 77 times a game.
I don't think he will be, and it goes to show that he doesn't have to be on the field for 93% of the plays. You can give the man a break.
Yeah, I mean, before this year, I think last year a couple times, I think McCaffrey went out, I don't know, 1 or 2 games at like halftime or something. but you did not see any of their backups come in at
No,
all.
ever.
And when they did, I will tell you this: Reggie Bonifant, my Louisville guy, came in, ran for like a 59-yard touchdown. So,
Yeah,
so back to do the math. It doesn't matter who's back there.
yeah, they're deep. I mean, they're deep. I mean, I like Mike Davis. I really do. I mean, he was a good sign last year at the end of the year, and I'm glad they kept him and it paid off. But I think it's good. I think it's. I mean, it sucks. I mean, when I turn on a Panthers game, I didn't expect as much this year, but I like watching Deuce out there. But
Yeah, for sure.
But it kind of. I mean, we won a game in Los Angeles. I mean, technically there's no crowd, but the Chargers aren't a bad team defense.
Hey, took the Chiefs to overtime. So
I mean, I don't know. I think it'll be good. I think it'll make Joe Brady a little more creative. I think it'll open up the field a lot more for Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. I really like DJ Moore. I think he's going to be a solid number one. He started to come into that role last year, but this year I think he's really going to be the number one receiver. Even though Robbie Anderson's killing it, but I think DJ Moore is just. I think
he's the guy.
Yes, he's the guy, and it shows that Robbie Anderson is more than a deep guy. I mean, he's catching crossing routes. He's lining up in the slot out wide, and like you said, Adam Gase just sent the man on go routes every time.
He did.
Yeah, my only memory of Robbie Anderson with the Jets is when he had that huge game against Dallas last year and they won. I think he had like 1,800 yards passing or receiving in that game. But yeah, I mean, I think it is interesting going forward with the Panthers. Hey, let's give this dude a break. Let's put in one of our backups because we got Mike Davis, Reggie, and they can do something, and they can, and that'll be a decoy too. It's like we talk about decoys being on the field. It's a decoy off the field. If Christian McCaffrey isn't in the game, maybe the defense thinks, hey, we can throw the ball now, or they're going to throw the ball, but they have backs on the offensive line who can carry their weight.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting. So
it's an interesting year. I don't think it's a rebuild year, but at the same time, the first two games, I wasn't sold on Matt Rule. Like he just looked confused.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to take a step back and be in his shoes. He had no preseason. He had no training camp. He had nothing straight into the regular season. So I think he'll find his method. I mean, so I'm not too worried, but I'm excited. But we'll see. Brian Burns is killing it too, by the way.
Who's that?
Brian Burns is killing it on defense.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's looking real good.
Nice. Yeah. That defense is so young. I mean, it's always going to be a big hit when you lose a guy like Luke Kuechly. But
and watch out for Jeremy Chin.
Oh, yep.
Jeremy Chin. All right, put that back here. So you talked about, or Gibby, you said, I think you and Cheech both. Cheech had them winning 3 games. I know that. How many games? I don't know how many games you had them winning, but 2?
Yeah, I think I had 2 or 3. It could have been 3,
oh,
maybe 4.
Nice. So Corey, you think they win more than 2 now that they got a winner in the belt?
Yeah, I think they're a solid 6-10, 7-9.
Beautiful. Love that. I think that's what I put them at. I don't remember.
We'll see though.
Yeah, I mean, Falcons looking like they want to lose games down there in the NFC South. So, yeah.
They're trying to tank for Trevor. I don't know.
Definitely. Somebody is. These 2 teams tonight are definitely trying that too. So, all right. Well, let's see. I'm going to move on to a little bit of tonight's actually, and you can stick with us for sure while we finish this out. Give your thoughts. But so the Steelers-Titans were postponed, and the latest kind of logical reasoning is what they're going to do is they'll put week 4, which is coming up. They'll put them both on a bye this week. So they'll put them on a bye, and then the Steelers are scheduled for a bye in week 8. The Titans are scheduled for a bye in week 7. The Ravens play the Steelers in week 7. So they're thinking they're going to do the Ravens-Steelers play week 8, and the Ravens they originally have a bye week 8, and then they're going to move the Steelers-Titans game to week 7. I don't know if that just confused you all, but basically it works out where, they pretty much both have a bye this week. They'll play 13 games straight going into the playoffs. And all right, Gibby, you have any issues with that? I know it's an impossible situation in this 2020 crazy year, but
I know we got to roll with whatever we get for 2020. But man, if you're a Steelers fan, Big Ben playing, 13 straight games, and then going into the playoffs, you might have to give some of them guys a rest if you get a big enough wild card lead and you're not going to catch the Ravens. I think just health. I mean, James Conner is one of the fragilest running backs in the league. This team has been beat up before, and I think they've got to roll with it. And I think their coaching staff is going to keep that mindset of we just got to roll with whatever punches are thrown our way, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and even Mike Tomlin came out today. They asked him in an interview, like, well, what do you think? What are you expecting? Blah blah blah. And all he responded was, "We do not care. We want to play football." So, the dude, I mean, you don't expect anything different from Mike Tomlin, but it's Pittsburgh. They're going to go out and play football in a damn parking lot if they have to. So, Dion sucks for fantasy. Yeah, it does, but you just kind of have to. It's an impossible situation for commissioners. Gibby's the commissioner of our league, but you kind of just have to go with whatever source you're using for fantasy and go with what they're kind of going with and just pretend this is a bye week because I think the NFL is looking at this and being like, all right, we kind of planned for this, but fuck, it's here. And now let's try for this not to happen again. So I see that going forward. I'm not going to say there's not going to be any COVID tests, but I have a feeling they're going to see this and be like, shit, we don't want to rearrange shit more than once. We make a lot of money off media deals, so let's not bring anything up and play with the players we have. Yeah. Corey, you have any thoughts on
No, I agree. But at the same time, Sean Payton and John Gruden got fined $250,000 for not wearing masks on the sideline. So they're taking this COVID stuff pretty seriously.
Yeah, the picture with John Gruden and the thong he had on his face. Oh, that was hilarious.
But we'll see. I don't know. It's I don't think they should move the bye weeks around. I agree. I think with those players, they should be put in a quarantine or whatever they need to do and just continue playing the season.
Mm-hmm. Just play what they have. I mean, that's what I thought they would do. It's not like a basketball team with, a really small amount of players. And, if 5 guys go out, you're playing with 4 guys or 5 guys or whatever. So it's a football team. It's a 53-man roster with people waiting on the practice squad for this fucking shit to happen so they can go up and play. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it continues to develop. But, all right. So tonight's game, Samuel Darnold. We'll talk about a little bit of gambling. First off, the Jets are favored by 1.5.
Crazy.
Timeout. The Jets are favored by 1.5. Last week they were underdogs by, 11.5? I think it was 11.5 against the Colts. And I picked the Jets for that. 11.5 is a lot of points. It's a lot of time for garbage, that fourth quarter, the garbage time to make up for those points. That's why I picked the Jets. But this week, they are favored in a football game. After all the discussion about them being the worst football team to ever step foot on the gridiron. Gibby, first off, do you think they should be favored?
No, but I'll answer that question. No, but if Vegas is saying they're favored, that means Vegas wants the money on Broncos. They want you to put money on Broncos, and Vegas is a lot smarter than I am.
Yeah. So
yeah, I agree.
They know something that we don't.
They always do. They always do.
That's that over under for the Chiefs game.
Yeah, it was 54.5, right?
Got to 54.
54. It's nuts.
It's nuts. We see this every week. So,
all right.
I'm going with the Jets, man. I'm going with Vegas.
You are going with Vegas. I'm going with the Broncos because I hyped up my boy Brett
Ripping.
Rippon, yep. The Canadian football star who's going to come and leave his print in the National Football League in America today. I'm going with the Broncos. I think they're going to do this thing tonight. And you talked about the over-under. The over-under for tonight is 40.5 points. So I'm going to go with the under on this one.
I'm gonna say stay away, but I'm gonna go with the over because there's gonna be some busted plays. That's my only thing.
I mean, if you need money tomorrow morning and you have to make a bet on this, I guess
Hit me up. I'll help you. Don't put money on this game.
Let's look for some alternatives before you put money on this game. That 40.5 points though. I'm gonna go with the under. What do you think? You think they, Corey? You think they score more than 40.5 points combined tonight?
I do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because my boy Brett Rippin.
I'm going with the Jets to win tonight.
Nice. Smart man. Glad we brought you on.
Yeah, I like the Jets too, but with my opening monologue about Brett Rippin.
I think he's going to throw about 3 picks tonight. He's going to.
Oh, come on! So all right. I think Rippin ends the game with a better QBR than Samuel Darnold.
Oh, come on.
Really?
Now, if Von Miller was playing, I'd probably take the Broncos.
Yeah. If one of the Broncos players are playing, Philip Lindsay, Gordon Sutton, but literally everyone is gone. So
I don't know. I feel like that O-line, I mean, they gave up when Jeff Driscoll came in and played, he got sacked 100 times. Granted, it was the Steelers' defense, but boy, it's going to be an ugly game. We're about 15 minutes from kickoff, and I'm excited to see Ortega. What up, dude? Where's Cheech? His internet has been down
and it's 2 a.m.
and weeks, and it's 2 a.m. over there. He's on day shift, so he's probably sleeping, unfortunately, or he would. So tomorrow we're going to be recording Ortega. Hey, Ortega, if you ever want to come on, hit us up. But he's sleeping right now, and hopefully the Jets lose so he can be in the running for Trevor next year when he wakes up and Adam Gase gets fired. But let me know. All right, so we'll talk about – let's do the over-under on passing yards real quick, and we'll kind of wrap it up in here in a second. Samuel Darnold, his over-under passing, 225 yards. What do you got?
Over.
Under. I'm going under on this one. No chance. AJ Bouye still back there. Yeah, he's gonna shut it down. So I'm going under here. Mr. Rippin himself, 205. This is over under. It's really low. That's why I'm taking that over on old Rippin here. You talked about the busted plays. It's gonna happen. So
I'm going under. I think he could get benched.
You think who?
I don't know. I just think he comes out and he's awful. I think he tries to hit like KJ Hamler on a deep ball, gets picked. Like I could see the Adam Gase story of the NFL is he wins this game by a lot and they keep it forever. That's just the Adam Gase story. So
the most New York Jet thing to happen tonight is the Jets win by 40 points, and no one's talking about firing Adam Gase tomorrow. Ortega, I didn't know he actually slept. That's true. Yeah, he's
probably riding APR.
Yeah. But yeah, sure. Maybe one day I can get on with you guys. Hey, I appreciate it. Let us know for sure. So, and you're taking what are you taking, Corey? Under 205 or over?
Taking the over.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm taking the over because I think the Broncos are going to fall behind, and he's going to be passing the ball. He's either going to be passing it to the Broncos or he's going to be throwing it to the guys in green or green and white.
That's true.
So we'll see, man. It'll be interesting.
All right, finally, I know this is just a absolute exhilarating matchup we're about to watch tonight. But are there any fantasy players that you guys are interested in seeing or have your eye on, have on your team?
I guess Jerry Jeudy if you got to play wide receiver. Gordon, They're probably not going to want to throw the ball with Rippon. So I think Gordon gets a lot of carries, a lot of check downs. Anyone on the Jets? Who's that white wide receiver? No, probably not playing him either. So
was it Barrios?
Barrios. Yeah, something like that.
He's supposed to be their top target tonight, but I don't know. I think Jameson Crowder is playing tonight. Let me.
Is he?
Is Le'Veon playing?
Oh hell
no! He's still on IR.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, I mean they're playing Frank Gore and what's the dude's name from the
Jets?
Man
Gore's still playing.
Yeah, dude. I played him in my fantasy league last week. I had to. I didn't have any other options, so just tough sledding out there. Yeah, but that's about it. Jamison Crowder is still questionable, so all right. We'll see what happens. I don't know. If he does play, though, look out for old Jay Crow because he's a playmaker. We saw week 1, he got like a little curl route or something, made a guy miss and went 75 yards or some shit like that. So, all right. Well, I think that's about all we have. We will be back. Gibby and Cheech should probably be back for our Sunday pregame show. I got to work this weekend, so I won't be there. But yeah, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel on YouTube too. Show us some love, and we'll keep hitting you with all this dumb sports talk. All right, man. Take it easy, everybody.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.